How do we find the answers to our biggest questions? To the questions that we just keep asking ourselves over and over and over again, how do we find the answers to these questions? I've been in an era of questioning lately, of questioning myself, questioning my life, questioning where I'm going, when I'm gonna get there, how I'm gonna do things, questioning everything. And I went on a walk today and I was feeling extra questiony and my headphones died. So I was on a silent walk at this point. I was just really thinking about this one relationship that I had with someone that was really bothering me. I kept replaying the situation in my head and I kept asking myself, like, how do I just move on from this? How do I move on and get to the other side and not think about this so much? Like, I don't want this to consume me as much as it is. And I pulled out my phone and I was starting to Google how to move on, energetic cord cleansing, like, all those things. I felt this overwhelming sense of like, just like, come on, like annoyedness in my gut. Like, I just felt so annoyed with myself. And I was like, hold up, why am I feeling that? Why am I feeling so annoyed with myself and so like almost like grossed out right now? The only thing that came up when I was like, why am I annoyed was, why do you think Google has this answer? So I kept walking. Again, I'm musicless, I'm podcastless. I'm just really immersed in my surroundings and my own energy. And I get another like feeling of I am the only one who knows the answer to this question. Because the way this relationship was, the way it made me feel, the way it ended, the things that it triggered inside of me, I am the only one who really knows that. No person on YouTube, no person on Google, no AI, no therapist, no friend, no parent is gonna be able to really give me this answer of how to move on. The only person who really can is me. Well, how do I answer my own questions? How do I even find answers within myself? Because I really don't think it's something we're taught how to do. There are certain questions we definitely need external sources to find the answers for. But there's a lot of questions that external sources actually won't ever have the answer for. So I came up with a little guide of how we can find the answers to our own questions with ourselves. And this is that. The biggest thing is going to be nervous system regulation, because when you're in a state of fight, flight, freeze, of dysregulation, you're not going to be able to answer any of your questions. We need to be in a regulated place. So how do you regulate your nervous system? Oh my God, I should probably just make an entire episode on this. I will just give you a brief little guide to nervous system regulation. Nervous system regulation 101. This is how you regulate each stage of your nervous system in 5 minutes. So let's say you are in that sympathetic nervous system state. You are feeling like you're either flighting or you're fighting. Your brain is going a mile a minute. You're overthinking. You're fearful. You're panicking. You're sweaty. Maybe you're jittery. Anxiety has taken the front seat. Control, fear, anger has taken the front seat. What do you do? Whenever you're like up here, you want to think about grounding down, bringing your energy down from this fight or flight state to this more regulated grounding state. So you can sit on the ground or stand on the ground. Just fully feel your feet planted into the ground. One hand on your abdomen, one hand on your chest, or maybe your hands are in your lap. For me, a hand placement really helps me to not be in the punch ready position, We don't need to be in fighting position with our fists clenched during meditation. And box breathing is my favorite way to bring us down. So box breathing is inhaling for a count of 4, holding for a count of 4, exhaling for a count of 4, holding for a count of 4. Incredible. Chef's kiss. So it would look like this. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, holding 1, 2, 3, 4, exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, holding 1, 2, 3, 4, inhaling 1. You do that over and over again. Okay. Oh, even that, girl. I feel so much better. I think I was getting a little. Do it for like a set of 10, or you can put a timer. Do it for like 2 minutes, closing the eyes or listening to some kind of like soft sound. So whether it's like rainfall or like camping sounds, or it's meditation music, something that's very like mellow and helping you to sort of, a big deep breath in. This is down regulation. That's what you do when you're feeling fight, flight, angry, anxious, fearful, overthinking, panicky. When you're feeling apathetic, frozen, you're almost in like a catatonic state. You need to upregulate because you're like stuck in this down regulation. You're stuck just feeling very down, very sad, very glum, very apathetic. Like maybe you're not even feeling anything. When I get overwhelmed by something that was either very traumatizing or triggering, or if someone's yelling at me, I will sometimes go to this freeze state where it literally just feels like I'm in a little dark corner of my mind, just standing there like this. And I can feel the place that my brain goes to. You gotta get yourself up and out of that. So my favorite way to upregulate is, you can do this again, seated. We're gonna do an upregulation breath. So what we're not gonna focus on is the inhale. The inhale is going to happen naturally. What we're focusing on is the exhale. And we're bringing attention specifically to like our belly button region. And we're just going to push out into our belly, expanding the belly as we exhale, okay? So that's what it's gonna sound like. And I'm blowing the air out of my nostrils. I'm not even thinking about inhaling. I'm just I'm focusing on the exhale out of my nostrils and I'm feeling my belly expand. And the inhale happens naturally. This one, you don't necessarily want to do for a full 2 minutes. I would do it for maybe like 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, 30 seconds on. This one really helps. Another thing to help you upregulate, put on some music, some fun music, and just dance around, like get yourself going, have a great little dance party time, okay? Shake it out. A lot of like upward movement, right? Like do the wave, or just like you wanna get up, up. If you're in this freeze state. Those things should help get you to a more regulated nervous system state, which is definitely the first step, because how are we supposed to be introspective in any way if we are super dysregulated? Regulating is like key to everything. So once we're in a more regulated state, we're gonna ask ourselves the question, okay? And then after we ask ourselves the question, we have 3 options. And one of these options is probably gonna feel the most intuitive to you, the best to you. So just go with that. Option number 1 is the more physical embodiment practice. If you're more of like a physical movement, girly, boy, neithery, this is what you do. So you're gonna ask yourself the question, and then I'll go for a walk. A silent walk, like I was doing inadvertently earlier. A silent walk, no podcast, no music, no one else, by myself. Long walk. Or if you're a runner, run. If you're a swimmer, swim. If you really love a good kickboxing class or like a Zumba or something like that, do that. But I would encourage you to do it without music, because I think so much can come up for us when we are really in silence. But maybe silence freaks you out. Maybe silence is not your jam. That's quite possible. If that's the case, then yeah, put on some music. Whatever is gonna help you sort of get out of your own head, because we don't want to think about the answer. When we overthink the answer and we think about the answer of those questions, we end up logicking ourselves out of our authentic truth. Logic is beautiful and great, but when we are trying to understand ourselves deeper, logic gets in the way. Our answers to our deepest questions usually aren't logical. They're usually a lot more emotionally involved. So ask yourself this question, do your movement practice. If music helps get you out of your mind and into your body, have some music on. If you feel like you can do this without music, I encourage you to try that. But just move your body. Think about the way things feel in your body. A yoga class is great as well, because yoga really helps you to just sort of focus on each body part. You could do like a body scan meditation, just something that's really focusing on physical embodiment and movement and taking you out of this thinking headspace. The other thing that you could do is create something. So you ask yourself this question, why can't I move on from this person in this situation? And then you paint something, you draw something, you make a song, you play with some pottery, some clay, you cook a meal. Sometimes what will happen from this creative moment is you'll look at the end thing that you created and it's very metaphorical and represents something deep inside of you didn't even know you were feeling. Or maybe this creation just allowed you to kind of tap into this creative creative energy, this creative side of you. And that does bring up something within you that allows you to kind of get out of your head, get into your body, get into your intuition, get into this creative energy, which brings you some kind of answer. The last one is for more of my verbal people. You will journal. So you'll ask yourself this question, and then you will journal about the situation, about whatever's coming up, whatever patterns you're seeing, whatever you're feeling. Literally, I've journaled before, and it's been like red, blue, black, dog, cat. I'm so pissed because the sky is red, and I love clouds, and there's a butterfly flying. Like literally nonsense. Makes no sense. Because again, we're not trying to logic this. We're just getting things out. We're just getting out of our head, getting out of our own way, and sort of tapping in. Another thing could be talking to yourself. Get in the shower. If you're not home alone, put on some music so that other people can't hear you, so that you feel less inhibited. Talk to yourself. Have conversations with yourself. Pretend you're on a podcast and just talk about things. You want to use your words to really tap in to what is coming up. And with all these things, the biggest thing is that you're not overthinking it. You're not analyzing it. You're not scrutinizing it or judging it. Like whatever you create, you're not picking it apart. Whatever you're doing movement-wise, you're not like, okay, and now how do I feel? Am I pissed? Am I this? Why am I this? Like we don't need to narrate everything that we're doing. We need to tap in to ourselves, our energy, and our own connection to ourselves. And if you believe in God, to God. If you believe in the universe, whatever source energy that you believe in, tapping into this, tapping into ourselves, our higher selves, that is how we get the answers to our questions that Google can't answer, that AI can't answer, that your mom can't answer, that your therapist can't answer. But it's a practice. It's a practice getting to know yourself in this way. It's a practice learning to talk to yourself in this way. It's a practice learning to trust yourself in this way. So if it's not an immediate, oh wow, aha moment, that's okay. But beginning this process of learning to go to yourself before you go to other people, to go to yourself before you go to the internet. It really fosters this relationship with yourself, this sense of trust within yourself, this strength and this knowledge, this ability. The steps to finding the answers within yourself: nervous system regulation, asking yourself the question, engaging in some sort of embodiment activity. So it's a physical activity, a creative activity, a writing activity, embodiment. Get out of your own head, stop scrutinizing, stop analyzing, stop analyzing, stop judging, and feel. Feel what comes up, and the last step is to trust. Trust what's coming up, trust yourself, trust whatever it is, and a lot of times it's just feeling. Welcome to Mirrors. We're going inside and changing our internal world in order to change the world around us. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I hope this was helpful. Please let me know your thoughts. The video versions of this are always on YouTube. Audio versions are always on Apple and Spotify podcasts. I'll see you next week. Bye.